Alright, so the new Gowther comes out 2 days. It comes out Tuesday on Global, obviously. But I wanted to talk about should you summon. I wanted to talk about building the character up a little bit because this is a really weird one. Obviously, there's a lot of controversy around this one. People are not super happy with the fact that we're getting a UR festival right after another UR festival. Completely understandable. I think the caveat here is that this Gowther really not that great. Like, I'll be honest. I've been watching content over the past couple of days. I initially made this video, I tried to make this video on Thursday, like after he came out, and I watched like my initial sort of like videos, and I was like, I should probably give it a couple of more days. My opinion really hasn't changed that much. Like, I mean, he's a good unit. Don't get me wrong. He is good. He's not great. You're basically just going to be using him because he has a rank up card, just like the other Gowthers. He is also red. If he was blue, I could see there being a little bit more value because, I mean, we're just missing a blue rank up unit, but not even really that big of a deal. The only fight you're even going to be able to use that on, like, that you couldn't use the other two on, is Red Demon, and Red Demon is so easy. Like, you can kill that guy with level 1 cards, so not even a big deal. Not even, crazy. Obviously, his passive, very good. His passive is good. Caveat, he's locked down to the 7 Deadly Sins team, so you have to use him with a specific team. I haven't seen anybody try to use him with unknowns yet, and I think that is pretty telling. Like, I've seen a couple of people say, hey, maybe it's not all bad, maybe you could use him on the unknown team. I don't think it's really worth it. You're missing out on like so many like buffs and stuff like here from the passive that you're better off just using either Red Gowther or I guess mainly just Red Gowther instead, because Green Gowther is one of those characters where you need to use different race characters to get use out of his passive, so you might as well just use Red Gowther because he has the rank up and you can use like the full unknown team. So not really worth it, you know what I mean? I was kind of hopeful initially whenever they showed the character off that, he has a Pierce single target. It also has Ult Drain. His ultimate, has Crush on it, or Crushing. I can't remember. I think this is Pulverize on Global. And it also, gives some basic stats and stuff. And I think it ranks up your cards whenever the buffs are removed. But it's pretty mediocre. Like, I mean, it's an ultimate, it does its job. His damage, I thought, like, oh man, maybe he's going to be like a damage dealing Gowther. Maybe I can finally build that attack crit set I've been waiting to build for him. His damage is pretty mid. Like, it's pretty lackluster, I'll be honest. It doesn't really look like he's going to be anything other than a support unit, which is fine. I'm okay with that. Like, I love a good support unit, don't get me wrong. I'm not one of those guys that, like, every single unit has to be a big DPS character that, does crazy damage for me to enjoy the unit. A good support unit, it goes a long way on a good team, so don't get me wrong. This guy's going to be nice to have, but he's a luxury item. He's a character that, if you're wanting to run the Sins team, if you have him, he's going to improve things a little bit. If you don't have him, I think you can still run a Sins team or even just use the Demon team if you're wanting to use Meliodas, for example, and you'll be fine. I don't think this guy's going to change up the meta that much. I've been watching the gameplay. It doesn't, I mean, he just seems kind of like a gimmick unit. There's already been a lot of people saying, like, hey, he should have just been an LR to the Red Gowther. I can agree with that. I definitely think that was the case. I feel like they just, like, came up with the concept of this character. They're like, oh man, we haven't had a festival Gowther in a while. Like, let's make a whole new designed Gowther, and because we've already put the effort into designing it, we might as well just throw it out into the world. So it was just kind of like a random thing that, like, there's not even normally a festival time slot for this, this month. It's just a weird time. Another thing to mention is that 7DS Leaks has already confirmed that there is a new weapon piece for Philo in the patch for this update for the JP files, which means that we're more than likely going to be getting a Shield Hero collab rerun at some point in the near-ish future. There is normally a collab time slot sometime between the Arthur Festival that we just had and the JP anniversary, which is at the end of May, like early June for us on Global, and so collab coming back. That's a really big one, by the way, because a lot of people really like and want to have Kizuna in their box because she's a very, very good support unit. I don't know, obviously, who knows what the new characters will be and who, like, if they're good or not, but for example, you do want to try to get Kizuna, which they gave her out for free last time, so I would imagine she might not be like super expensive or anything, or maybe she will. I don't know if they're going to give her out for free again. Who knows? But that's coming up. JP Annie's probably going to be a big deal. Most of the time, JP Annie ends up being like a pretty good unit because obviously it's the anniversary of the game. They want to release something substantial, so I would imagine that character's probably going to be a lot, a big deal, something good. So you probably just want to say for that. I know a lot of people were already sort of like on the fence about Arthur, and then Gowther came out and they're like, I don't know if I should summon on this. I think I might just save for the anniversary anyway. So if you were already in the save camp and you don't have the gems for this anyway, I think you're fine. I don't really think that it's like a must-have necessity character. Obviously, like if I was a free-to-play, I always like really like the value of these festival banners and stuff like that, but back-to-back like this, man, like, I just assume you probably don't have gems, and it's probably not worth scrounging for. Like, they're going to be giving out, I think there's 300-something gems in total that they're going to be giving out through events and everything during this this festival, but is it really worth it to try to, like, really scrounge to get that 900 if you can't pull early? I just don't really think that the value's there. The banner itself is interesting. This is the first time that Hell's coming back, and Mael is on here. This is the second time Mael will be coming back, and he's a good character. He is getting a Holy Relic in this update as well. It's a Ratatasker relic, which, who knows if you're going to be able to, beat Ratatasker. That's really up to you and your own account. But those two are, like, pretty interesting characters. Hell, not really that relevant anymore. Maybe whenever the unknown team gets a little bit more support, we'll see her return to the meta a little bit. There are a couple of LR characters, namely Margaret, you have LR Escanor, and you have LR Liz. I've seen a couple of people say, like, I have to summon on this thing because I really need that LR Liz. I understand that mentality, and, like, obviously if you don't summon, you can't pull a character, but there's so many units in this thing. This thing's packed, like 20 plus, 25 plus. I'm too lazy to count. There's so many units in this thing, and the rates for these characters abysmal. Like, getting one specific unit, not gonna be good. It's like, maybe you'll get lucky, and if you summon, I hope you do. I genuinely wish you the best, but there's so much crap in this thing. There's so many units in this thing that I just have zero interest in. Some of the festival units are so old and, like, just who cares? Like Elaine, like, they just gave out a free copy of Jelly King, which Jelly King is kind of nice. Jelly King and Ragnarok Merlin, for some reason, are, like, the two characters that are beating the new Demonic Beast at the moment. Another side note, this Gowther doesn't really seem that great for the new Demonic Beast, at least currently. Like, obviously, metas can change. They could come out with a character that would consolidate Jelly King and, like, Ragnarok Merlin into one unit, one new unit, and then that could be, like, the go-to must-have unit for the new boss, and then you'd have room to throw Gowther on or something if it's a Sin character, because obviously you still want to run Sins with him, but currently, he doesn't really seem like he's, like, that, useful for the PvE, like, Demonic Beast side of things. Like, I guess you could probably run a Sins team on some of the older beasts, but there's already teams that can beat those, and unless you're just, like, really trying to use the brand new unit for whatever reason, you just want to use him, understandable. I don't necessarily think that he's worth going out of your way for if you can already beat that content in general. So, definitely a little bit of a side note there. I don't know. The rates on the individual units here gonna be really bad. I don't see it. Like, if you already want Gowther, by all means summon. I hope you get some cool, like, unfeatured pulls while you're going for Gowther. But I don't know that I would recommend summoning on this thing, like, just for the unfeatured alone, because, the odds of you getting what you want, pretty slim. But who knows? If you have the gems for it and you're willing to gamble, this is a gambling game, so do your thing. But yeah, I don't know. Other than that, I do have some screenshots, I think, here. You can see my dog peeking out of that folder. The materials needed to upgrade a UR unit. This is the Arthur upgrade materials, for example. You'll need 10 UR pendants, 145 of the OG Demon Flames, 185 of the Belmoth Hearts, and then these are the old Demon materials. These are pretty easy to get, so I don't think that you're going to have too many issues there, but if you need those, make sure you have them. And then from 60 to 100, you'll need 8 of the red 6-star books, because obviously Gowther is a red unit, not a green unit. So the UR pendants are going to kill people. Like, I think that UR pendants are really hard to, like, sort of just, like, stock up on and just have naturally in your inventory if you're even working on your box at all. Like, no one was expecting another one of these festivals to come out of nowhere like this, so that is a bit unfortunate. If you want to summon for him, make sure that you have those materials ready, of course. But his costumes, on the other hand, are kind of interesting. You do get the free Power Ranger outfit, so make sure that you have some of your like cosmetic enhancement materials ready. If you don't go for the 600 or like the 900 mileage to get his SSR outfit, you can actually already have a full suite of UR costumes here for him, like UR outfits, if you buy the actual costumes. So I mean, I guess if you pull him early and you dip out of the banner and you're like, I'm not worried about going to the the 900 just for that costume, you'll actually be able to have a full set of UR cosmetics for him in the outfit section just by having the Power Ranger outfit and his normal outfits, because he's a UR character, so he starts with a UR costume, and then the 3 costumes that you get from his actual like costume sets that come out with the character will make 5. He is missing 1 weapon. There is 1 SSR weapon that he starts with. I still think that that's really stupid. If you're going to make a UR character, like a UR based character, why are his cosmetics not base UR? Either way, I guess, you'll be missing 1 weapon. You will have to spend 90 to get this maxed, because it's 60 to get it to UR, and then another 30 to max it out. And then for headpieces, he does actually gain an extra headpiece from his affinity reward. So you will be able to have 5 headpieces, but 2 of them are going to be SSR cosmetics, so you'll need to spend 90 gems per SSR piece to also max those out. So make sure that you have your, I think it's the perfumes, if I'm not mistaken, that max out the headpieces. So just a little bit of like info there, I guess, for you. But I'm a little excited, I have to say. I think that Gowther's a really cool unit. I like Gowther as a Sin, as much as the next guy. He's not like my favorite Sin or anything, but he gets a little shafted when it comes to units in this game, and I'm not a huge fan of Hijack Gowther personally, so I think this new Gowther could be a little bit more my speed as far as like design-wise goes. I think he looks cool, so I don't know. Is he worth going for? You're going to have to make that decision a little bit on your own, but I would personally say probably not. So let me know your thoughts and opinions on it, though. Let me know if you're, definitely summoning, if you're, 100% skipping, if, whatever the case may be. I'm putting this out on Sunday. So one of the big takeaways here is make sure that if you're going to summon, make sure you're farming, make sure you're getting your stuff out of the way. You're going to need some gold to upgrade his stuff, and it's kind of expensive to power up units and everything. Use your time-limited dungeon keys to grab your SA coins if you need them. I think it's 84 SA coins. I didn't have a screenshot for that one, but I think it's 84 SA coins if you're 1/6 to get all the way to max SA6. So do your thing. Make sure you have all your stuff ready for him whenever you want to, summon for him, if you will. But that's pretty much it for me. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Feel free to subscribe if you haven't already. I think I have like little text at the beginning of the videos now. But we're trying to hit 20K at some point, So if you want to subscribe, come by and hang out with us. You can always unsubscribe later. It doesn't really, it just, if you want to stick around, you can. So thanks for watching. Subscribe. Goodbye.